Hello guys, welcome to the channel. So in this video, we're going to talk about the reason why your business keep failing or why you have started multiple business and keep failing in Ghana because you just do not understand this simple fact. Okay, your business will continuously fail in Ghana until you understand this simple fact. And it is not unique to Ghana, so let's dive into it. When we travel outside of Ghana and we are in UK, Germany, US, that's where most of my people are, we want to do something back home. We feel very patriotic. We want to do something back home. We want to feel like we are, we're enjoying the fruits of our labor. We want people to know that we care about them. Key points that I'm going to give you if you want your business to survive. Now, who am I to tell you that your business is failing and I got the key to your answers? A little background. I've been down here for almost 4 years now. I'm on the ground. I'm here and I still have partners. Okay, so we're going to dive into a whole bunch of ways for you to go about this. Okay, I've been down here for 4 years. I've started multiple businesses, including Russian properties where I'm selling land and houses and all that. And each one of them that I've started is actually profitable. Okay, I have also talked to a lot of business men and women who have made groundbreaking change in the country and making money. Right? So we're going to get into all of that. Now, you are living in the UK, you are living in the US, you want to start a business. Should you start it? It depends. What kind of business is it? Can you have oversight while you are in America? Can you verify things? Can you put systems in place? If the answer is no to that business, yeah, you probably shouldn't start it in your absence. And if you're going to start in your absence, you have to share. What do I mean by you have to share? You have to find somebody who is good already in this field and give them ownership. Share the pie. That person is now incentivized. I'm not saying it's guaranteed that it's going to work, but the probability of that working is extremely higher than you having this idea that you're going to come down here and set up a business and you are not going to put any blood, sweat, and tears into it, just your money, and hire a whole bunch of people and underpay them and expect them to do right by you in such a country where there is so much hardship. Don't get me wrong, it is part of human nature to do what? To survival of the fittest. They are going to steal from you. They are going to screw you up. They just don't care. You have not incentivized them good enough or well enough. They are not incentivized. You were selfish. You didn't want to put in any work, but just the money. And you didn't want to share any part of their pie. You wanted to be the sole owner and you just put your money in and expect people to do right by you while you sit in America, work your other second job or working 2 jobs, whatever. And it doesn't work that way. If you want to do that and own everything, then you should probably look into things that you can monitor, right? What am I talking about? We're going to dive into that later. Things that you can start and you don't have to share anything with anybody and you can probably make it work. By starting a physical business of actually solving a problem or selling goods and services, and you are not sharing any part of pie, you are not doing any work, you just put your money in there and expect it to work, it is just not feasible. It's not just in Ghana, but any part of the world. So let's go back to the West. Let's go to Walmart. Walmart is a very big company, but did you know that it started with one store? Let's look at Walmart. Let's look at Apple. Let's look at Tesla. You name it. Look, go to the bodega. Bodega is basically like your grocery store. It's basically like a small shop in New York, right? I think bodega is in Spanish word for it. All of them started it themselves. Okay, like it becomes a family. They are there when you are starting a business. That's when you're going to find out what's going wrong, fix it, tweak it. You are there. Nobody's going to care about your business like yourself. It's not just Ghana, any part of the world. Tell me a Chinese man who started their grocery shop or they started something completely hands off. They just put money into China and it was working fantastically well. I haven't come across anybody like that. All right. So your business in Ghana is going to keep failing if you're unwilling to share. You can start a business by being abroad, but you have to share the pie. You have to find somebody who's extremely good at it with good character and give them a good percentage that when the business is doing well, they are also getting rich. Not you being 100% owner and paying somebody 500 cedis a month. They're going to screw you. It's hard out here. They're going to screw you, my friend, and your business is never going to thrive. Now, I'm going to give a quick example here. I know someone, good intentions, want to build a beautiful house, move in, good intentions. They wanted to start a farm. They started a farm, set it all up, complete 100% ownership to themselves, put in no sweat, blood, and tears, put somebody there as a site manager to take care of it with 500 cities a month. Less than a year, the business failed, and the person was mad, came to me, and I'm like, you know what? It failed because of you. How do you expect a person to survive on 500 cities a month while you are collecting $100,000 every year, giving this person no sort of ownership to come and that's a form of slavery. It's not going to work. You can bang your head against the wall, you can do a whole bunch of things, but it is just not going to work. You have to share the pie. You have to incentivize people. I am on the ground and yet I have partners. I incentivize people and I work with them. Okay. And I give good numerations. You got to pay people well as well. Human beings are selfish and it's a survival of the fittest. It's not just Ghana. If life is difficult and you are not paying somebody well enough and there's an opportunity and they see that, they can think. Human beings think, right? When a person is standing in the store or wherever they are thinking about their boss not doing any of this work and collecting all the money. And it's only a matter of time that they will screw you. So you need a good manager. You need somebody who is as incentivized as you to be on the ground. It's the only way that you can start something while you are not here. You give somebody a good ownership, 20%, yes, 30%, even 50%, yes, because you brought in money. Or you can just be an investor that you just don't have the time for Ghana. So you're going to be an investor. You're going to find a good business, a good person, and you're going to invest in them. And then you just follow it and take your money. You cannot expect to start a business when you are not actually working on the business and you expect other people to do it and you are the sole owner. It's going to fail. I know a lot of people. A lot of people have tried this and it has failed. The only person who has successfully done this is my father. And my father, luckily enough for him, has his own son who cares about the business and has been able to survive. It's two businesses, a pure water production business and selling of building materials. Now, if it wasn't for my older brother, that business would have gone down the drain quickly. So my older brother is there, but it's like he knows, his father's business is his. Now, not all sons and daughters who do what my brother is doing, but like I said, you have to be lucky. However, you can incentivize people and you can work with strangers who you've, of course, studied, done your due diligence. But even if the person is a good person and they don't have any sort of ownership in the business and you are not present, you expect them to kill themselves and take care of it for you, it is just not going to work. You're going to fail miserably. In the West, when people start businesses, they start themselves. And then over a long period of time, they develop systems and the systems work for them. Even people who have established such a huge company, when they put a CEO, which is a person in charge, they pay them handsomely. I mean, you've heard the news of people complaining about CEOs receiving $100 million paychecks and all that because they are driving a ship. They are riding a boat. They are steering it. They have to incentivize that person because that person doesn't care, then the whole business collapse. So no matter how much you are paying employees, I think you should pay people fair and you get the best out of them. But you gotta make your manager very happy, especially if you are not on the ground. The person who is representing you shouldn't be suffering. Let that sink in, because we are all operating down here in Ghana. I've been fortunate. I got some great people that I work with, partners, workers, and I am not thinking about myself. I share the pie. I always share the pie. Now let's look at a few other races that have done so well in Ghana. We're going to look at the Chinese, we're going to look at the Lebanese, and then we're going to look at the Indians. All right? Now, if you've noticed, if you go to any Malcolm, especially the big ones. Now, first of all, Malcolm history was started by the guy himself. He was down here on the ground. Actually, name me one company that's notable in Ghana where the person was just starting out, they are abroad, and they did well. It's not going to happen. So let's look at Malcolm. This was an Indian guy who was actually, born and raised here way back. Started Malcolm from a very small place. That's how everything grows. And now he's grown tremendously. And they have a lot of systems in place. You go buy something in Malcolm, you are not going to walk out without them checking and stamping the receipt. So there are systems in place. The cashier can steal and the security can steal. There are systems in place and it's operating beautiful. However, if you go to the big Melcoms, like the one they have at East Legon and the big mall that they have at Spintex, they have Indians. Sorry, but yes, they have Indians as managers, and I know they are paying them extremely well to make sure things are operating. Some of them might even get shares in the company. When you get shares in the company, you're essentially a fractional owner of that company. Now let's look at the Lebanese. The Lebanese, Palace. They have a lot of restaurants, Honeysuckle, District 24. They have a lot of things here, and they are thriving in this country. The very country that we all complain about Ghanaians are this, Ghanaians are that. They employ Ghanaians and they make them work like they are in America. They are on their toes. When I go to District 24, observing these waitresses and waitresses, I see that they are on their toes. As a matter of fact, I got some of the best service from that place. They got them on their toes from training and also incentivizing the managers. They got, fortunately, their own managing it, but the Ghanaians are working. They're on their toes, my friend. So it is possible to have a system that will work. Now let's look at me as an example. I have a car wash. I'm not gonna get to the Chinese. They do the same thing, but the Chinese does that everywhere. In New York, I have yet to see a Chinese, restaurant or something where there is race working in there. They just work amongst themselves. Now let's look at my car wash business. I have a car wash business called Palace where I'm actually trying to build a mini mall on there. I'm gonna make a whole video about that. My car wash business, I have a manager who is handsomely incentivized, paying monthly fixed, but he also gets money. Each time I go and collect the money, I give him a kickback. When business is good, he's enjoying. As a matter of fact, I sell the soap to the workers. That is his business. I don't touch that money. He buys and resell it to them. He's a happy man. This is how you build a business down here in Ghana. It's a very hard country. So don't expect to send money here, start something. You are the only one benefiting, paying people peanuts, and they're going to kill themselves for you. It's not going to happen. It's not just Ghana. It's just human nature. It is absolutely not going to happen. Now, let's say you don't want to share anything. You absolutely don't want to share anything because you are very selfish, or you just care about generational wealth and you don't want anybody, causing any issues in your life. Fair enough. There are some business that you cannot start. Wait till you get here and you start it. But there's some business that you can relatively start and it will be okay. And one of them is buying one of these high rises, using for Airbnb. Even that you can get screwed, but you can easily put systems in place like I have. I actually have a system in place. I don't go there. It's no difference from me being in America and being down here. I might pass by from time to time, but it's operational. My car wash got systems in place, video, got another manager who's going to see. That manager is highly incentivized. A manager that oversees the manager. So if I'm not here, I was in New York for two months. From December, I came back in February, and the business was operating beautifully. And I can just pull it up on my camera and look at a few cars. When I see one tipper truck, I know how much it's going to cost. And I might just tell the manager, hey, this tipper truck that came in around this time, so he knows I'm watching. I'm not doing that every day, just on the set. I might just go in 2-3 times a day, and I might spend like less than 5 minutes just looking at the camera, right? And I have another manager who's around. So you got to put systems in place. The systems are going to save you, not trusting people. And you have to give out some of them. You just have to give out some of the percentage to somebody to also benefit. Now, if you're not willing to do that, like I said, you invest in another person's business, or you go for businesses like buying these high rises used for Airbnb because you can easily track if you have the good systems in place, or you can simply have an online solution to something where you are actually working on it in Ghana. You are doing something. Let's say I'll give you a business idea that I had, but I don't think I'm going to do this. I'm going to throw it out there. Maybe you can execute, right? I mean, it's getting easier now. Through DHL, it's getting a bit easier. The logistics of bringing things to Ghana, it's getting a lot easier, especially China now. The logistics of bringing things to Ghana expeditiously has been difficult. It's one of the challenges that we have. Like I said, people are figuring out and some people are making money. Let's say you want to set something up like that. something like that up. This is for demonstration purposes. You will be involved because it's fairly online and it's connecting one word to the other. So something like that can work for you, right? There are some business that can work for you, like tech, where you are involved, you can see things going, but to set up something physical and be completely hands off and not having a manager who's incentivized is bound to fail. You are setting yourself up for a disaster. And it's not just Ghana, like I said, it's human nature. Humans are very selfish. And you can go ahead and look at all these big companies from all over the world. You name it. The owner was a part of the business. They were working, especially in the beginning. Towards the end, they might have systems in place, get old or whatever, and they might, put on autopilot, but they still incentivize the manager or whoever the director is, incentivize them. So that's my rant to you guys. You will keep failing until you become willing to share or focus on businesses that you have some sort of control over. You can't expect to come and set up a physical business down here, be completely hands off, pay people peanuts, and expect it to do well. It's gonna fail.